Welcome to this week's episode of the Top Podcast. As always, I'm one of your hosts, Rob, and joined with me are my friends Mike.
Heyo.
And Lou.
Oh, hey.
I don't remember actually.
Oh, hey.
Oh, hey. Hey, ho. By the Lumineers. I don't remember who actually chose this week. So, was it Mike? Did you chose this topic this week? What is your icebreaker that we like to start out with for every podcast? Ooh, didn't think of one.
No, he did not.
I feel like it's been forever.
Dude, it's been, I don't know. It's been a minute. I'm really excited for our icebreaker next week, but that's not this week. All right, if you could only have one chip for the rest of your life, what chip would you go with? I have to go first, right?
Yeah.
I would go with the Dorito.
Classic, the nacho cheese.
Classic. Yep, straight up nacho cheese Dorito. Solid chip on its own. Solid chip to do nachos with. And I do this meal where, some grilled chicken, some rice, some enchilada sauce, some green salsa, mix it all up, melt some cheese on top, and then you crush up a bag of Doritos and sprinkle it on top. Maybe dice an avocado. And so, really, just for that meal alone, I wouldn't want to lose Doritos. So,
have you had their late night taco ones?
No.
They're wild. They taste like a Doritos Locos taco, but if you think about what flavor you want from that taco and bite into it, you can taste that flavor.
How do you make a chip taste soggy?
Okay, it doesn't have the soggy. Well, you can just put a little water in it and then.
There you go. You dip them first.
There you go.
A nice Baja au jus.
Have you had that yet, Lou?
No, I have not. I've been trying to stay away from that stuff.
Missing out. What's your favorite chip, Lou?
My favorite chip? I really like the Canadian all-dressing Lay's chip.
All dressed up?
All dressed up? Is that what it's called?
I think that was the Ruffles one. I remember you had me try that a while back. But they've come back.
Yeah. It's, I really like it. It is the Ruffles. Yeah, all dressed.
I think Lay's
does
does something
Ruffles
too.
I think, all dressed as well. Yeah, so dressed is the thing. Yeah, that's my favorite chip. Or if I'm feeling crazy, I'll do the honey. The Frito honey trips. They're all twisted.
Now remember, this is if you had to have one chip for the rest of your life. Mm-hmm. So are you going to be feeling crazy every single day?
You feeling all dressed up every day? Or crazy?
I'll be dressed up all day. Yeah, I barely eat chips.
Yeah, I don't eat them much either, but I miss them. Sometimes I just sit around and think about them.
So why is he looking off into the distance? He's thinking about chips.
He's thinking about Pringles.
Ew, Pringles. I think Doritos is definitely a solid one. That'd be like my 1A. My 1B, I really like just the classic Cape Cod, kettle chips. That was really good.
Solid.
Yeah. I was going to try to make a computer chip joke, but just didn't have the brain power this early on a Saturday. And it is 1 o'clock, so.
Yeah, I was saying this early. What?
Hey, I was up playing Magic all night.
Third activity of the day.
All right. Well, what are we talking about this week, Mike?
We are talking about. Oh, that was just mean shade for no reason. Sorry. We are talking about our top 3 childhood stories. Why are you talking about childhood stories, you might ask, audience? Well, because Rob ran some analysis, and apparently when we talk about things that are popular, nobody watches the episodes. And when we tell stories, people tune in. So this is your fault.
Or albums. Albums is really popping off since then.
Oh, albums? Okay, nice. Andrew actually had an interesting point. He said, because we just randomly, the algorithm's just been nice to us for a couple weeks now. And it happened right when we switched to top 3s and our episodes got a little shorter. So that might be part of why YouTube's been a fan of us.
There we go. And you did say we could have some high school in here, so it's just birth to 18.
Legal child status.
Or 17. And, yeah. All right, well, you're up first, Mike.
So this one, I don't remember how. Oh, so my mom brought up this story that gets me to the punchline of this story. There was a week when Life Church was starting, where the 2 oldest sons of the head pastor came to stay at our house because my dad and the head pastor went off to this church planning conference thing. And so I got to hang out with like two of my best friends for the week. It was a week-long sleepover. It was awesome. And I had this disc of Greek myths. And so we would just listen to the Greek myths all night. And, Hercules and that's the one that everybody knows. There are others, but most people won't recognize Adamantia.
Ooh,
Yeah, okay, sure. Atalantia? I don't know. Anyway, we're all like real into these Greek stories that we're listening to, and my made she was really into sewing, and so she made us all togas. We went to a park in our togas, and every single kid in the park was just like, "What are you wearing?" We just thought we were the coolest thing ever at like 10 years old, running around in togas.
Hey.
And yeah, it was a good week. And then one night we're sitting there and we're playing Superman on like Superman 64, the worst video game ever. We didn't realize at the time. Well, we realized it sucked. We were like, this is no fun, but we didn't know when we got it. And the person who is now Lucian's pastor, he looks at us and he goes, guys, someday we're going to look back at this and be like, those were the good old days.
That sounds
And
like him, like crazy.
I
Insane.
know, but he was like we were 10, so he'd have been like 11, 12, and we looked at him at 10-year-olds and we went, what the hell are you talking about? That's the dumbest
Such a
thing I've
nerd.
ever heard.
He's such a nerd.
Trying to be a philosopher.
But the funny
that
thing is,
young.
now in hindsight, I'm like, those were the good old days, man. You know it, Alex.
I think a couple years, when you're not playing Superman 64, would have been the good old days. But,
No, it was a good week. It was a good week. We did a whole bunch of stupid stuff. It was fun.
Hey, sometimes with
But, yeah.
with togas though, it's nice to feel the breeze between your knees.
You know.
Maybe they're onto something.
Were you guys free balling it?
I doubt it.
Yeah. No.
Okay. I don't know.
I don't remember the details. I can't
Just how much breeze were
definitively
you-
say no, but
Give you an 80% no.
yeah, I'm pretty confident that we weren't. But I can't say with definitive accuracy.
Remember for 6th grade at my school, we would have like an ancient Greece like week, where it was the same thing. We'd watch a bunch of like cartoons based on the myths and everything, and wear togas and all that. It was fun. Enjoyed it. Is it me next? It's been
You're in
so
charge
dang-
this week, man.
Yeah,
guess
you're
so.
in charge.
I don't know. So this one is really only going to be nostalgic for a very small group of people, but this is Take Yourself Back, 2007, 2008. Still, the internet's pretty burgeoning and, becoming what it is. World of Warcraft is taking the country by storm, but if you're like me, you're a broke middle schooler who has nothing. So I go over to my friend's house, probably one of my oldest friends from elementary school. We go over there, and he's like playing this new game. I'm like, what is this? He's like, it's just this game called RuneScape. So I end up going on there, and I remember like making my account. You hear the music, and like it's just two torches, but they change colors, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is the future. This is it. This is game changing. So we made this account, and we're like, we're gonna split it, which is technically against the rules. So allegedly, we were gonna split it and share things. Basically, it just became mine. So it's actually where I got my gamer tag, was from this first account. But like, I just remember that first day, and you go through Tutorial Island on RuneScape, and at the time, the graphics weren't great, but for a free game that you can play in your browser on any PC, it was like the coolest thing. And I just thought it was so cool when you got to Lumbridge. There's like 1,000 people there, just all spamming and everything, like doing emotes, like buying GF and the scams and everything. And it was such a cool experience. Like, I didn't realize, it's like, I feel like that's when I felt that there's like more world to life than just this little area of Michigan, because you're talking with everyone from around the world and everything. And like, someone gave me free iron armor, which for me was a big deal because I had a bronze. I'm like, oh my gosh, there's actually good people in the world. And then got scammed later. But yeah, I remember just the nostalgia of building this my first character, and it was so cool that like I felt like that's when I really like understood the internet and that I can like connect people through the worlds. So There it is. RuneScape.
Yeah, dude, RuneScape was. It's crazy. In hindsight, it was basically just like point and click RPG. But it just unlocked something in your imagination when you would play that game. It was so much fun.
Yeah, I never played RuneScape.
I missed out. I mean, you can still play it.
Yeah.
They still have old school RuneScape, but I feel like if you don't have the nostalgia for it, it's not the same. It's a grind fest like any MMO.
They did just come out with a new game though. I saw, which was pretty
Yeah,
cool.
it's like Valheim, but RuneScape inside in the RuneScape world.
Oh, one of my buddies at church was telling me about this. What's that called?
Dragon something, Dragonlance.
Okay,
or
that was
something?
about what he remembered as well.
Yeah, it looks fun. But yeah, it was great. And I learned a lot, and I feel like it taught me to be wary of people online because people would always be trying to scam you and everything. So it also had some life lessons doing that RuneScape. But I will never
Gem
forget.
cutting.
Yep, doubling gold. I will never forget like that first time. It was such a nostalgic and like eye-opening thing. It was during the good old days, as Alex would say.
Right.
What about you, Lou? What's your number 3?
My number 3 is the moment where I figured out why I played football. So 7th grade, I started playing football, which was pretty late compared to the rest of my friends. All of them play like PAL and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I came in a little late. In 7th grade, I was absolutely horrible. I knew nothing about football. I was just a person on the field. And but 8th grade, I think I had a general idea of how to do it. And then maybe like first or second game, there was a cheerleader on the team that singled me out, pointed me out, and say, "Have a good game." And it was the something primal in me, my lizard brain. It just clicked, and I remember that game blocking 2 kids at once, and being like, "I'm going to do everything I can to have a good game for this cheerleader." And yeah,
That was the reason. So
that was the reason. And after that,
Girls.
yeah, got me all the way through college. Yeah, it was. I think I got in touch with her years afterwards and just like thanked her and being like, "Hey, thank you so much." And I think she said like, "Yeah, the cheerleader coach said to pick one person and say have a good game." So it wasn't even like her thing. Yeah, like she didn't even know me. Like we never talked. We were not in any
That
classes.
coach is brilliant.
She's like, this girl wants me to have a good game. I'll do it for her.
Yeah.
She's like, I don't even know you.
I was like assaulting children on the
That child's
battlefield.
libido will kick in. They'll just go nuts.
Yeah. So yeah, it worked. Her name was Latasha. Crazy that I still remember that.
Were you still on the O line?
Yeah, I never not moved from the L line.
Okay, I don't know if you ever played D line. Switched up a little bit.
No.
Man, see,
no.
missed opportunity. I'd put you at QB sneak, just QB dive.
Until like the second time I had to run more than 10 yards, and I'm breathing
Well,
heavily.
it's a QB
on
sneak,
ground.
Yeah. If you need 1 or 2 yards, you put Lou in. It's like the refrigerator.
Nah, man,
Breathing
Lou's
heavy.
gonna pick up 3 yards every play. We're just gonna
It's just more
down the field.
It's like, I need a cheeseburger now, coach. Please.
10 more yards. 10 more
You
yards.
get that. You get in
can't
the end
do
zone.
it.
You get a Big Mac. That's how it works.
It's like Derrick Henry out there.
Struggling.
What's your number 2, Mike?
So, actually, this one is a me and Dylan's story. That would be Alex's younger brother. So I don't remember if he was over for several days or if it was just a sleepover, maybe in the summer. But he was over on a night that we had my parents were hosting small group, which is why I'm stuck on this weird random detail because we did small group at like Thursday. So I'm like, why the heck were we having a sleepover on a Thursday? But it doesn't matter.
You were homeschooled. I mean,
yeah, but like I would still had to do school, and if I had school, he had school, so it was like it was probably the summer. And so we were like hanging out up in my bedroom, and we were like, "Hey, we got a few bucks. You want to go to the, to the gas station? That would give us something to do." It was a classic time killer, and we like had to sneak out a little bit so we didn't disrupt small group. You know, it was like we were in middle school, so it was no big deal if we just left and didn't tell them. But we left out this kitchen door that we almost never used. But it was like rather than go through the main door and just walk right through group, it was like And then I was like, hey, you know, one thing we can do is we can jump the fence into the neighbor's yard and cut through, and it'll like shave a bunch of time off. And we were like, oh yeah, all right, let's do that. So we walk to the gas station, we get some candy, some soda, we come back, don't think anything of it. And the next morning we wake up and my dad's like in the doorway. And he's like, come on. We're like, okay, yeah, sure. And like we follow him, and he's like, get in the car. We're like, oh, okay. Like he was super intense. And so like we're sitting in the back seat. It's dead quiet. And he goes, what'd you boys do last night? And we were like, is he mad at us for cutting through the neighbor's yard? So we're looking at each other and we're like, we like went up to the gas station, paid full price for everything that we brought home with us. And he stops at a red light and he turns and he looks at Dylan and he goes, is that really what happened? And Dylan's like, yeah. And he goes, okay, cool, let's get some McDonald's. And he was just messing with us the whole time. He knew, I don't know if he thought we did something or if he knew we didn't. But either way, he was like, I'm gonna give him a hard time just for the heck of it. And that
What if you open up a case of you killed somebody?
Well, that's yeah. I was like, was he fishing or was he just like, this will be fun? I know they didn't get into anything. But I think about that all the time.
You said you were in high school or middle school. I mean, you guys
6th,
so
7th
probably punks by then.
Oh, 100%.
That that duo.
No, I mean, dude, we were getting in trouble in elementary school. There was no, I mean, nothing like bad, but breaking rules, and yeah, definitely worth casting out the line and seeing if anything bites. But yeah, in that instance, the worst thing we did was cut kitty corner through the the block, and we were like, he thinks we robbed the convenience store. He's so intense, and yeah, it was nothing.
Did you ever ask him about it later?
I think I did, but it was so long that it was like, I don't know. I was probably messing with you, I don't think it moved the needle on if he's gonna remember something that me and Dylan did. I imagine that's not the one.
Mm-hmm. So my number 2, I think I've told it on the pod, but it's been a really long time. And, I was a basement dwelling gamer kid trying to escape life through video games. So I don't got too many stories, but, hey, we're here for it. This one also involves climbing a fence. So it's kind of fitting that that's both our number 2s. This one, I think I was 2 or 3. I was in the backyard with my mom, whatever, doing something. She's like, I'm going to go in the house. Don't open up the gate and go to the front yard. So I'm like, all right, Mom, whatever. She goes in the house. She comes back, and I'm climbing over the fence to get to the front yard. And she's like, Robert, what are you doing? And I'm like, well, you said I couldn't open the gate. You never said I couldn't climb over it. I just think it's so funny because that's exactly it shows that your personality develops even at that young age, because I was so much of just technicality and, loopholes and everything. So I just love that story. But I'm putting it at number 2 because I think I've told it on the pod before.
I don't remember this one. I think you might.
I don't remember it either.
No, okay.
Yeah.
Becca thinks I did, but I've told that story quite frequently, so makes sense that she's just like, nah, you've told it at some point. You won't shut up about that story.
You gotten that part of your relationship already?
No. All right, Lou. What's your number 2?
So I think it's funny you said that we just retelling stories over and over again, because I think I told part of the story, but there's another part of the story I didn't share. So I did my love for football for the first time. I'm gonna do my love for video games. So my favorite game back in the day was Jak and Daxter, the first one, the Precursor Legacy, and I was one of the first games where with no help, no older cousins, no boyfriends, no...
Well, you had a boyfriend help you before?
I had a boyfriend. Yeah, I knew one of you guys were going to catch on that. No mom's boyfriends, nothing like that. I myself beat the game by myself and I thought it was like the greatest achievement of all time. And so I ran it again, and I beat the game in like less than 36 hours. And as a kid in like 2001, that was like a big achievement of mine. Um, and so I've talked about how much I love the game, but uh, and that is the best part of it is like the idea of like completing something. But the part that gets me to laugh, that's very morbid, but it's kind of funny, was that literally the day that I beat the game is the day that my dad's dad died. My grandfather died. But I was so young, I couldn't understand why everybody was so sad. And so I beat the game, dirty kid, come out the bust out of my room and tried to like tell everybody that I beat this game. And everybody is like very sad. But I'm not picking up on the social cues because I'm young. And so I'm like literally tugging people's shirts and being like, "Hey, I beat this game in under 36 hours." And they're like crying. And I'm like, "What's going on?" And
Why do you guys care?
I'm like telling my uncle's. I remember telling my uncle's girlfriend, who's the wife at the time, be like, "Hey, I did this achievement. Can I get some validation, please?" And like, I'm like, "But why are you here anyways?" And not really picking it up. I don't know. I get a nice little laugh to see my like chubby self with a big afro, who's clearly dirty and hasn't taken a shower in a long time, just waddling around eating hot pockets and being like, "I am the best. I have achieved this goal."
That is so
So
funny.
it was all downhill from there after that 36 hours.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Yeah, funeral. I didn't share it at the funeral. I clearly understood then.
It's like does anyone want to come up and say something? You see Lou waddle up there. Hey guys, I just want to let you know.
I collected all the orbs.
Hey, you
I
mother
did all the
effers.
side missions. This is a
100%
marvel of a game. And I didn't even know in the second one you can just Grand Theft Auto steal people's guns and shoot.
You didn't know that?
Well, I mean, I didn't at the time
Oh, okay.
because the game didn't come out. I'm just saying, like, in the
Okay.
future, it was only getting better, is what I'm trying to say. All three games are masterpieces in its own art. But yeah.
All right, Mike.
Oh.
Looks like you got stories to tell. Are you going to share your screen for everyone?
I'm working on. Yeah, I think I got it figured out.
That'll
So
be the
I'll send you
easiest.
these with a nice order, or in the right order. But for now, let's see. How do you share your screen? There it is.
I'll click on you so you can see it from your perspective.
All right, let's see if I can.
Sorry,
Okay.
audio listeners, you are not going to be able to see this. But go check on our YouTube, and you can see the examples.
Uh-oh. Is it? There we go. All right. So, every summer, for many summers in a row, my family would all chip in, and we would rent a house on the beach up north in northern Michigan. We talked about this on our traditions episode. It was great. The longest time we got this house on Lake Shore Drive, and you'd cross over the train tracks, and you'd park, and on the left side of the house there was like a little sunroom, and you could come up the stairs on either side, and you'd enter in. It was basically one big like open concept room. So you had like your kitchen, your table, little seating area on the far side with a TV that almost never got used. Then me and one of my uncles would sleep upstairs, and then there was this hallway that ran down the middle. And there was, the master bedroom where Grandpa stayed, and then all the girls would pile into the smaller room on the right because there were just a ton of bunk beds. And then my parents, being my parents, would sleep out in a tent. That's that masterful picture that you're seeing there. And so one night, myself and my Uncle Paul, we decide we're going to sleep out, or not we're going to sleep. We're going to hang out and watch Batman the Animated Series. And so I throw in the discs, and we're hanging out on the couches, and I doze off, and when I come to, and stay with me here, the hydraulics in the house, in the foundation, have activated,
As they do.
and the entire building is now flipping on its side. And I immediately am like, okay, The entrance we normally go in and out through the sunroom, that side's about to be tipped down against the ground. So I cannot escape out that side. It won't work. And you may be thinking to yourself, well, why not go out either of those two doors that are right in front of you and not going to be jammed against the ground when the hydraulics, complete? And to that I say, hey, shut up. And so what I did was I leap over the couch, run to the main hallway, sprint as fast as I can down this hallway into the bathroom, and I Superman jump. Like I leap, pull my fist back, stare down the glass window, and just punch it as hard as I can. It does not break.
Hey.
And so I flip it open, which would have been way more efficient, smash the screen out, and I am bodily halfway out of this window before I fully come to and realize there's no hydraulics under this house. The train is just going by, and I was in sleep mode. And I climb back in, close the window, pick up my pillow that for some reason is just in the freaking bathroom with me. I walk back to the couch. Paul is just staring at me like, what's wrong with you? I say, not a word. And then I grab my blanket and I go upstairs and I fall asleep. I come back down the next morning and
Dad asks you to get in the car. Takes you for a drive, right?
Yeah. No, that was it. I was like, okay. So I come down for breakfast the next morning, and Uncle Paul's sitting there, and he's like, what the hell was that? And I explain what happened, and he goes, let me give you my side of the story. And I was like, oh, great. The train goes by. I shoot up, flop over the, like, I don't run. I climb over and just whoop, over the back side of the couch. I grab my pillow, put it in front of my head, and I sprint head first into the window. At which point I proceed to open the window and use the pillow to just knock the screen out, climb out, and then I come to. And as I'm like hearing this side of the story, my other uncle comes down from the upstairs and he goes, hey, so what happened last night? And I was like, what do you mean what happened last night? You weren't there. Turns out his buddy Jesse had got there last night, and they were all standing out by the cars, and they're wondering like, oh man, like, can we be talking here? Do we have to worry about waking up Mike? Because my dad is notoriously easy to be woken up. And then they hear and just see me climb out the window and go, and then I look at them, I have no recollection of this, and go, hey, just climb back in. And yeah, that's my favorite childhood story.
Crazy things happens when trains can just wake you up, you know? You're not expecting
it. When you're in that half asleep zone, it's just like, yeah, the world is not what it seems.
Mm-hmm. This one's for free, but one time I was doing a Civil War reenactment. We were marching throughout the day. We get to the place we're going to camp out for the night. It's dark out, so I go and lay down. I wake up to the night, and there's just huge blaring sound, and the ground is shaking. I'm like, oh my gosh, the rapture is effing happening. Like, I'm ready to go. No, it was a train going by, but I'm just like, you hear this huge horn, and the whole ground is shaking, because I didn't know there was train tracks there. So like, oh my gosh, it's the end of the world.
Yeah, man, it's nuts.
So
I don't sleepwalk a ton, but there have been a few times where the line between waking and sleeping has been blurred, and they're always interesting stories.
Lou, have you ever sleptwalked or gotten awoken by a train?
The worst sleptwalk, I'm not train. I don't know what you guys are with trains, but the worst I've ever done was gotten dressed, made pancakes, and then my mom thought somebody was robbing the house. and was like, "You need to go back to bed." And I was like, I'm almost done with my pancakes. She's like, "It's 3 in the morning. You got to go back to bed." I was like, "What about my pancakes, though?" She's like, "I'm gonna put this bat across your head if you don't go back to sleep."
Knock
It's
you
kind of
out.
what she said. So yeah,
Did the pancakes turn out at least?
Uh, I didn't taste them.
Oh,
I
okay.
Oh
didn't.
no.
Well,
I didn't get to eat.
I didn't know if it was like, you threw in like water or something thinking it was pancake batter. Sometimes like you're kind of in that groggy
Uh,
state still. So I don't know if you were actually
ye-
making pancakes.
yeah, they were like the frozen pancakes. They
Okay.
weren't like I
Um,
didn't turn on the oven.
Just the stove, get the griddle going.
Yeah. Mm.
This one's not my story, but it is one of my favorite. I won't say the name, but one of my friends, his younger brother, he woke up, walked down the stairs. His parents were sitting in the living room. The living room connected to the kitchen and the dining room, like big, just open concept again. And they're like, "Hey, buddy, what you doing up?" And he just ignores them. Opens one of the kitchen drawers, drops trow, pees into the drawer. Fully relieved, he pulls his pants back on, closes the drawer, and just heads back upstairs.
Luckily, I've sleptwalked, but I've never, used the bathroom like that.
I haven't either, to my knowledge, but sometimes when the tongs are like damp, I wonder.
Sometimes when the tongs are damp, that's crazy.
All right, so my number one story. I don't really know if it's my number one, but it's kind of how the list fell out. But I'm going to tell you guys how cool I was in high school. In 10th grade, me and my buddies, every lunch, we would sit and play Yu-Gi-Oh! And our bench was just abandoned, except for there'd always be one couple that would have lunch at like the other end of the table. So it was hella awkward, but hey, we were buddies. But the Bible is like pretty early on. The Bible teacher ends up comes out. It's like, "Hey, well, what you guys playing?" We're like, "Oh, we're playing Yu-Gi-Oh!" and all that. He's like, "Can I see those cards?" So he takes them. And he's like, "You guys can't be playing this anymore." And like goes and so we're like, "What the heck? Like we can't do it." And then we end up getting like called down to the office to talk about this. And the superintendent, who's a really nice guy, is like, "So I hear you guys are playing with some like evil cards." We're like, "No, it's just Yu-Gi-Oh! We got something's like I think there are spells or something on it." It's like, "Well, yeah, there are, but they're not actually like you're not cutting our wrists and everything, spilling blood and putting a pentagram on the table, but because I had the word spell, that's what they
Right.
thought." And he's like, "All right, I'll make a deal with you guys. You guys can keep on playing this if you don't use any spell cards." And we're like, "All right, cool. We all kind of knew, like, yeah, we're still gonna play this, but we'll just say we won't." He's like, "Is there any other cards we should be worried about?" And my buddy is like, "Well, there's like spellcasters," and everyone just turns to him. It was like I felt like it's Pulp Fiction, like, "Bitch, be cool!" Like, come on. They're like, "All right, we won't play with spellcasters. There's no other things, definitely no zombies or things like that." But yeah, it's just so funny. We all like looked at him like, "Dude, cut the like."
Do not answer that.
Yeah. So yeah, we went on playing it, but it was a fun memory for me and then I think the Bible teacher, he would come over and like kind of like hover around us after that, and we're like, "Yeah, we don't care. I'm just F you. We're not playing Magic the Gathering. We're playing Yu-Gi-Oh! It's totally different."
Right?
But love that. Just everyone looked right at him. They're just like, "Dude, shut the heck up."
Well, it's not even a spell like a cast. It's spell like the order of the letters in the word. It's spell. It's spell
Yeah,
words.
yeah,
They're
just spell
cards.
words.
Yeah. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Nobody said cast.
Nope, it's
summon.
true. It's summoned. Magic is casting. And it's summoning. Lou, what is your number one story?
My number one story, which I'm trying to do the research on it because I'm pretty sure this is right. But I'm struggling. But so yeah, so my family tree is weird. I think I've shared a lot of this on the pod already. But my biological mother left me when I was like 6 years old, but we kept in contact for a super long time, through the phone. But it would be like hit or miss with her. And there was pretty much one time where I think I missed her call and she just like grilled me. And it was just like super sad. and I just started crying like really, really loud, and it was right, pretty much like it was time to go to bed. So I just went to bed crying, and then apparently I was crying so loud that um, the people that were raising me, which was my uncle, which I called my father, pretty much was consoling me. And at the time, um, I like to look back at some of these stories because I try to put myself in some shoes. At the time, my uncle was trying to be a rock star, right? So he had no interest of being a parent. I mean, like, he was doing his best, but at the same time, he's like, I am trying to make it in the business. Um, and so as he's consoling me, he starts quoting lyrics to me on bands that we both listened to. And at one point, I was like, "Are you just quoting Shinedown to me?" And he's like, "Yeah, but like it still works, right?" And I was like, "I guess, um, I guess, yeah." But like thinking back, he was probably high, right? He was probably just got done smoking his pot as soon as I went to bed.
Oh.
So he's probably like right at the peak of highness, and he's hearing this kid cry he didn't even have. And he's just trying to do his best to like try to console me with this like broken relationship I have with my mother, and he's just like quoting dad rock to me, and yeah, I just hold
It's like,
that
Lucian, look at
deeply
this
in my heart.
photograph.
Yeah, just Adultery, Shinedown, Creed, just throwing anything at the wall to see if anything sticks.
You need to stop
And
crying before tomorrow comes, man.
yeah, I didn't get therapy until way later in my life, but that worked for that time. That did its job. I think if my therapist started quoting stuff at me, I'm like, I pay you a little bit too much.
Right, yeah.
I pay a little too much for you to start quoting Shinedown to me. But yeah, it's one of my favorite memories.
He's like, I'm
That's
just
so
Lou.
funny.
You're just staring at a bottle of a 45,
Like a gun?
a barrel. That's a barrel.
Yeah, dude.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah.
I messed.
That's a different.
I got
that's
that.
different.
Just like, Dad, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Yeah. So, that's me.
Could be worse. Tommy used to work on the docks. Union's been on strike.
It's just like, Dad, why is your
Thomas,
eyes so red? Are you crying too?
Yes, son.
Yeah.
Shedding tears for you.
Yeah. Carol's a bitch. Oh, I'm sorry.
All right, you guys got any quick honorable mentions? All right. Oop.
I found this way harder than I expected it to.
Yeah.
Like, I know I have funny stories from my childhood, but I just couldn't like come up with any of them.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there was one time. Again, we had some friends over while their parents were out of town for like a week, and we had this like the house we were in. It used to be my grandpa's house, and he converted the like connected garage into like this big like open living room. Or we called it the family room, but it was like the TV room where people would hang out and make a little more noise. And then there was a loft upstairs with the spiral staircase. And so that's where like the kids would hang out. That's where all the toys were. And we made a huge mess. We didn't clean it up like all week. And my dad was like, hey, clean that up. I'm going to come back. And if it's not cleaned up,
Going for a
and then he
ride.
just left it hanging. And we just we cleaned so fast, and we kept cleaning faster and faster because we kept being like, what do you think he's going to do if it's not done when he comes back? And then we just come up with worse and worse punishments on our own. And we were just like, ah! And like we'd speed up. And that's just, as a parent now, that one always like makes me smile. Because again, I don't think he had anything major in mind. I think he just knew we would like freak ourselves out and get the work done because we were so nervous.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, next week we're talking about Aliens, the second one. So make sure you're caught up on our Alien series. Just got that last 2 weeks ago, one of the times. I don't know. It's all a blur at this point. But then from after that, we'll come back here with the regular one. And just so you guys know, little housekeeping things. We do have our Minecraft server going, so be sure to join our Discord for that. Kings of the Wild is getting pushed back a month. You can obviously tell because it's not out yet, but we're pushing that back a month because life is busy, you know. And yeah, other than that, like, thank you all for watching. If you are watching on YouTube, give us a like, comment, subscribe, all the good stuff. Feed the algorithm. That's what we're about. Mike needs to eat. If we're on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, be sure to check the comments below so we can. I know Cantwell's active on there and some other people. Just tell us your favorite childhood stories and everything. Other than that, thank you all for listening. We'll catch you next time. Peace.
Yeah, your first pet, your mom's maiden name, first street you lived on. Yeah, put that all in the comments, please.
Yep.
Watch
Your elementary
4
school.
of your shows.